Good morning. I am Simone Corns. I am an African-American woman and Caribbean-American woman with natural hair that is still wet from this morning, so it's living its best life this morning. I am masking today because I've been getting over a little cough and allergies, and so I just, like to keep our community safe and make people feel safe, so you'll see me masking. So today's service is called Still Relevant. It is a service of lamentation. That is the holding of collective grief and sorrow, where we hold each other's those hard moments for each other. Last week, Marika, we had a guest speaker. I think it was last week, or the days are all blending together for me at this point. Marika asked us to hold the both hand. And so if you imagine your hand, she had us hold both our hands out. And imagine in one hand, things were really heavy or hard or traumatic, whatever that is for you, right? And in the other hand, those things that bring you joy, those things that sustain us, that make us happy and feel peaceful. And she wanted us to notice that we are capable of holding both of those things, both and. Today's service and next week's service are those both ands. This week, we will hold some of the heavy, and next week, we will hold some of the light. We, knowing that this is a particularly hard, lamentation services are particularly hard, we wanted to invite you to hold that space however feels comfortable for you. So it might be using a fidget toy, or it might be journaling. That's why you all have little journals that are yours to keep. You don't have to share the content. So you can use those anytime during the service. You can sit and breathe. And at the end of the service, unlike most times where we usually start talking and immediately transition out, we're going to hold the space. So anybody who wants to sit with their feelings or their thoughts is welcome to sit. If you need to move and transition outside, you can do that as well. The space is yours. Today is a particularly challenging one for me, and I'm going to be really transparent. I thought about taking the easy way out, but that's not what leaders do. It's very easy. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation, and so the story of Easter, the story of Good Friday, the story of Jesus is not one that is readily shared. And so the easy way out could have been to say, well, I'm going to talk about, I love laughter yoga. We're going to do a laughter yoga service, right? The easy way out would have been to say, I'm going to take either this Sunday or next Sunday off. But that's not what leaders do. And so today's service is a moment where I'm going to bring my full self into this service. And I know that for many of you who are here, and more that are not here in this moment, that a lot of times when we walk into the door of a UU congregation, Wildflower included, we put on an invisible coat of armor. We leave our personal pathways of faith, our beliefs, and probably one of the things that is most protected, we leave our culture outside the door because it does not always feel safe. As a Black woman in faith spaces, Unitarian and others, I'm always struck by the notion that we as a whole, as a society, as a community, as a world, as a country, we love the man that is Dr. Martin Luther King. But we don't often like the actual faith of a Reverend King. We love the spirit and the passion of a Bishop William Barber and the Poor People's Campaign. But we don't value knowing the service, the stories and the traditions, the parables and the metaphors that define his existence. I sit here as the director of spiritual life for this congregation that is housed on the campus of a Presbyterian congregation and sandwiched in between two very Christian, high church Christian traditions, Presbyterian in the morning and Episcopal in the afternoon. We literally walk alongside them on our life and spiritual path and our paths of creating this beloved community. I will share a little later in the service about the piece that we're going to experience, but it is a piece that I wrote in a similar crossroads of being a member of an Episcopal church and being a part of a larger body, a larger denomination, and not feeling seen and not having my own lamentation felt seen and heard in my experience. And so for today, I invite you to sit with whatever comes up for you. We as a congregation are strong enough to hold the both and. You may see yourself in parts of the service. You may see your neighbors in parts of the service. And so I invite you to see this experience as a moment to share a similar spiritual belief and system, a similar journey along a path, the path of love, the path of joy, the path of concerns, and the path of justice. The service, I warn you, will be a little challenging. There will be some hard images of things that are happening, that have happened in real life, of racism. There will be religious moments and of sharing of Christianity, and moments of holding space for those who, when life was a little too hard, and self-harm. The ushers have given a sheet that has lots of beautiful spaces for during the week. For Christian traditions, this is Holy Week. And so there are a lot, so you'll see at this particular campus, they'll probably have a lot of services, and both of the pastors from the two churches have invited Wildflower to experience their faith. There's also some amazing tools and resources like our beautiful coffee conversations that happens on Wednesdays with this community. And there are lots of other spaces. So with that, as we hold space for our collective lament, and wondering if the story of Christianity and the story and the life and death of Jesus, if the stories of racism and oppression and pain and wondering, are they still relevant today?